Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke W. coming back at you with Jesus. We got some awesome student success stories going down for you guys today. Jesus has been in my Amazon course for a little bit. He's going to tell you about how he's got the success that he has in the first month of him actually launching his product. He's done a lot of things that are not by the books like everyone else is talking about, so we got some great new insight for you guys. Jesus, can you just say what's up and give us a little bit more about your background, what got you into Amazon, stuff like that?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Luke? Right. So, well, I pretty much landed into FBA. I think like everybody else, just looking to do some extra income. I think it was around October last year, 2017, when I just stumbled upon it in YouTube.
Hmm.
It wasn't you at the time. I was like, watching all the popular channels back then, and yeah, so it kind of it kind of sparkled my mind, and I started doing some research and whatnot. Bought a course at the time, and eventually I think that by March this year I launched my first product, like like all the way following every single step of the course.
Hmm.
Uh, it did okay. I wouldn't say it did bad, but then I landed into some copyright issues with the name that I was using, and it ended up being a mess. Glued to the phone with Amazon day in and day out, but eventually I ended up like it wasn't worth it wasn't worth the hustle for the profits, and then hijackers and price wars and whatnot. So I just did a removal order.
Hmm.
Then I had another product, like I launched it around July. Same story, same method. I did like everything by the book, private research. Um, went on Fiverr, got some nice pictures, got my launch service, launched the product, landed to page one, did my giveaway, and after the giveaway ended, my sales dropped like drastically. So I started like, you know, I really it was like the spike of the learning curve for me, right? And then I said like everybody was basically like, you have to be like honest with yourself and say like, okay, so I'm doing exactly what everybody else is doing. Like, let's be honest. Even though my product is cool and I did have like a cool brand and whatever and a logo and everything, but in essence, it was the same thing.
Hmm.
So that's when I reached out to you in the first place. I don't even remember when it was. Like, I think it must have been like August or something,
Hmm.
or July or whatever. So I purchased your course because I was interested in all I was interested in all like the little tweaks that your course had, right?
Hmm.
That about social media, about bundling, about differentiation, and about just adding value, right? And I said like, okay, there must be something different that can be done to better out my chances. It's not, I wasn't going to like accept that my two products have failed. And don't get me wrong, my second product is still selling. But if I compare my second product with the one that I launched differently, it's just like beyond compare. It's a total game change. It's
So,
been very different.
yeah, so you went by the books to begin with, going viral launch, spending, and we were just talking before this call how you would literally remind me that, you're doing a $400 launch service. Then you're doing, I mean, tell us about that real quick,
Yeah,
about all the
so
costs.
I do recall that like and everybody in YouTube, and well, maybe not everybody, but most of the people that are talking about launch services. And just like a little disclaimer, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that launch services don't work. They do work, but in my opinion, they end up having a tremendous impact on your cash flow, especially if you're a new seller, right? Because I mean, if you're launching, if you're launching a product with a 50K capital, that's fine. I mean, you can use, a launch service. But if you're bootstrapping, you have to consider that you are going to be giving away inventory that you paid for, On top of that, you're going to be paying for a service. And on top of that, you have to pay Amazon their fee because those items that you're giving away are still being, picked and packed and shipped by Amazon. So let's say that you pay $250 for a launch and you have to give away 100 units of a product that costs you, I don't know, so let's say $3. So, and on top of that, you have to pay Amazon that fee for $5 per product. So you're going to end up having spending, like, it's not just the cost of the product and the service, it's also the Amazon fee that's that's going to have an impact. It's really like frustrating when you make 10 sales a day and then you see your balance and it's minus 900. So it's something that you need to consider when you're doing your business plan, when you're calculating your margins and everything. You really need to plan ahead. So if and this is why I stumbled into using digital channels and external traffic to launch your product, because guys, it's free. If you have a YouTube channel, that's free. If you have an Instagram account, that's free. If you have a Facebook group, that's free. I mean, it costs nothing to start it, and you reach so much more people that be your own launch service.
Right. And before we get any further, can we just we're going to have Jesus tell us exactly what he did with social media that you guys can kind of maybe replicate or look into doing it yourself. But can you just show us like some of your sales numbers? So, because this is like your first month, man. Like, how does it feel, man?
Actually, my first month, actually, we were just talking about that earlier. Yeah, so let me just, so in here, actually, I don't know if you can see here. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, right. It's good.
So, okay, so if you can see there, that gap right at the beginning, that was still with my other product live. So with my other product, there were days when I have like one sale or no sale at all. But when you see here, that first orange bar there, and it's full from there, that is the day that I went live on Amazon. And all I did was post some Instagram stories that day.
Wow.
And when you see the second spike here, oh shit, sorry. If you see the second spike there, that's when I started using sponsored ads in Instagram. So right now I'm less than a month. So I've been selling this product like for almost 22 days. And I've done like 3,400 in sales.
How many units? How many units is that?
I'm not in my price point just yet, but I'll be there.
How many? Can you tell us how many units that is too? Because that's a lot of, like, you can change with the little bar there. You can change to see how many units it is. You know that, right?
Yeah. Units a day. Yeah. So I'm usually like my average, my record day was 17 units one day.
Shoot,
but it's usually somewhere between 8 units and 14. That's usual. That's my usual number. So I'm gonna put it like the last 7 days for you to see, like, yeah, last 7 days. So you can see there 8, 9, 8, 10, 11. So yeah.
Dang, yeah, 48 units in 7 days. You just started the product, and tell us about how you've been able to rank up, because external traffic should, in fact, give you a boost. A lot of people say just work with Amazon. They have all the traffic for you, but you're going to go and really start ranking up faster. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you drive external traffic.
Yeah, I was pretty much in that position too before I started doing it. I mean, I was doubtful, because everybody keeps telling you, yeah, Amazon, 300, it's a highway where, 300 million people drive by every day, so you don't really need external traffic. But I do think now that the Amazon algorithm, weights more when you're bringing traffic from outside. Because as I said, when I launched my product, I literally did it through Instagram. Literally did it through Instagram. I just started Instagram stories and sponsored posts after. And what I did was in my bio there was a URL, a two-step URL, like the one the one with the keywords. And if anybody was like, I would post something in Instagram and say, if you want more information, or if you want to buy our product, just go in our bio. And it's at a discounted price, so go and get it, right? And people would click on that on the bio, click on the link, and that would drive them directly to my listing. And it was also like SEO efficient because it was a two-step URL. I used the keywords, so before Amazon eyes, if it was as the customer is typing those keywords, landing in my listing and buying. So by 4 days since I launched, I was on page 1 for that keyword.
And that's just, that's I even have a video about that on my channel. I'm not sure if you saw that one. It's how to make the two-step URL. It's as if a customer just organically searched up the main keywords you want to rank for, and you had that link basically on your Instagram so that people could click on it and go in and buy your product. And the external traffic plus boosting the sale for your main keyword through the two-step URL was basically the best launch strategy. As you said, in a couple days you're up there. And Michael Taylor asked, did you use a launch service or what was your launch strategy? So that pretty much explains it.
Yeah. Instagram, it was all through Instagram. I think what I think was most effective is that I in my Instagram I said, hey guys, listen, this is a discounted price, so get it before it goes up, and and it was my break-even price. So going back to what we were talking about, launching a service, I wasn't losing money. I wasn't losing money with that discounted price. So those first 4 days where the product was, I would say it was like a 40% discount, not even a 50%. I was still, I was still breaking even. So I wasn't like giving away inventory and paying Amazon on top of everything, right? So I did it all through Instagram. It was all through Instagram because if you give a discount, of course your conversions are going to go higher because from a consumer standpoint, everybody loves a good deal, right? But that will give you the sales velocity actually to rank faster. It took me 4 days literally to land on page 1, and I didn't even have reviews by then.
Wow.
No reviews, and I was still, because I think even though yes, reviews are very important for organic sales, when you have a communication channel with your audience or with your clients, that's also social proof. I mean, if you go into my product's Instagram, you will see I'm in the beauty niche, so you will see influencers like makeup artists or whatever using the product and talking about the product. So if somebody is driven from Instagram, they don't really need, they're going to look at the reviews, but they're coming from a whole profile of, let's say, of social proof about the product. So I think that also it's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, so that leads us into talking about, I know people want to know, how did you build the Instagram? How did you build it? I know I have some videos in the whole last module in the course that you took that explain some of that. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you actually grow it. And then you're not doing giveaways, but you're getting the product to people who already have a big base of a following that they can just let it loose to all their followers, and then they get the discount.
Yeah, so pretty much, I even started the Instagram when I was doing product research and I decided on the product. I started the Instagram. This was like 3 months before launch. I started when I ordered my samples. I used the samples to create content on Instagram. I think in Instagram, pretty much following the guidelines in the course, you really have to see uh, what are the consumers looking for, or what type of content do people consume in your product. Like, if you're in the pet niche, right, you're not going to be posting about, interior design, right? You really need something relevant. So I went into a lot of beauty profiles and accounts and just kind of, emulated their content and put up some value, a lot of tips, a lot of, do it yourself, a lot of benefits. People really like benefits, and sometimes even, motivation. And yeah, so once you decide on the type of content that you are going to be using, you need to start growing your Instagram. When you start putting out content, you will organically grow. It might take longer than you expect, but if you're posting, I've been posting once a day since, I don't know, since like 3 months. One post a day, every day, and I try to keep like a sequence about, about strictly my product, or then moving to benefits or tips or experience. Or but once you get to a point when you already have a following, like I'm right now almost 1,000 followers. But when you think about it in Instagram numbers, it's not really that much. But still, 1,000 people, it's a pretty, decent audience. I get DM almost like every day. I get likes. I get comments. I have like 10 influencers. The biggest one, what she has like 80K followers. So that gives you a lot of traction.
That's
So in terms,
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, that's how you do it. You have to put in the consistent little effort. It's just a little bit of effort, but the compound effect just comes into place, you know? I mean, you started at the
yeah,
beginning,
absolutely.
and then it starts small, 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 and then it exponentially gets bigger and bigger because you're keeping that snowball rolling. Michael had a question. He's saying, was differentiating your product a key factor for it to take off? If so, how did you differentiate, bundle, or did you add more quantity, or how did you actually differentiate yourself from other competitors on Amazon?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, but first of all, yes, I think that was a key factor. Differentiation is crucial, especially nowadays. In my niche, uh, and even in my product, I saw that everybody was sourcing from China. Some of them, some of them, I think there's like four sellers that are using the same packaging, this literally the same box in every in their different brands, but it's the same exact box. So I went definitely on that. I tried it because it's a beauty product. I say so there must be somebody in the U.S. doing it. I went to a supplier in the U.S. I started like scouting, and I even spoke to suppliers in South Korea, which are like on a higher, they do high-end beauty products as well, and very high quality. So eventually, I ended up sourcing from the U.S. and my packaging. I'm in Canada, and my packaging, I did it here locally. So I did a deluxe box. That's kind of like when you it really adds it really adds value when
Mhm.
you look at the box. It's been done differently. The box has been branded with the colors of my logo. It's a manufacturer of beauty and cosmetic products packaging here in Canada. So when you look at it, it looks like a perfume box or something like that. So I think definitely that is key, and that is also very visual, right? So when you're scrolling through the listing, you'll see that that box just stands apart from the others. So yeah, and I also included an ebook uh,
Mhm.
in my listing, and in the ebook, I just basically just give a ton of value to the customers, about how, 30 plus ways that they can use the product to their benefit.
I mean, yeah, that's excellent. And when we were doing our calls, like, man, you were ahead of the game with everything. You knew, I don't know how many videos of mine you were watching, because I remember in the beginning I was like, do the ebooks, like build the brand on social media. And what you're doing is building an actual brand that you can later sell. And now you have platforms that's going to add more asset value to your whole brand in and of itself. And adding the perceived value in your packaging is what is already just making you kill it compared to your competitors who are just doing the same box. I mean, that's just not good stuff. Let's see.
It just looks more like, professional, and even, like if you see my packaging, you will see that, like, the barcode is embedded within the printing in the box itself. It's not like a sticker. So, and it's all in harmony with the colors of the brand. And I have also my inserts, which is actually instructions that actually have the information of my Instagram. So I basically everywhere that my customers are using my product, I say, like, if you have a question, just DM us and we'll be happy to answer anyway. And that drives them back to the platform, and they can see that is an actual, it's an actual company, it's an actual brand that's producing content every single day. It's not like this, Instagram that last post was, 2012. No, this is something that's updated and people are using it, people are talking about it. So I think that's also important.
That is huge. And I mean, for instance, I want to keep it on you, but literally today, like I was telling you, a lady didn't know how to turn my product on. I had the insert card, and she ended up calling me up, and I fixed her up and showed her how to use it. Next thing, like, that saved me a negative review. I mean, now she's going to write a great review. So having these little tricks is going to save you so many dollars and heartaches. Are there any other little tricks that you did? I mean, you did a lot of little things, man, that really added up.
Yeah, no, I think that the ebook, the Instagram, the insert, because on the ebook I also mention our Instagram account. So I also tell people, if you want to hear about us, just go into our Instagram account, and also influencers. I think influencers were also a key part. I was telling you earlier, I must have contacted like 50 plus influencers. Out of 20 responded, and out of those 20, 10 are actually right now working with me. But most of them, like, they're really, if you're offering a good product, most of them will be keen to try it out, and if they like it, then they'll be happy to work. They'll be happy to work with you. So, and that also drives traffic and even external sales. I was telling you earlier, there's a couple of businesses in the U.S. that want me to source them my product directly. Mm-hmm. There's even a lady in New Zealand that wants to buy my product directly as well. So, and that just spikes your profit margins, right? Because that moves away Amazon fees and whatnot.
Yeah, that's huge, because I've noticed the same thing with my brand as well. It's now people reaching out and saying, we want to carry your products in our salon, in our store. And even if you're in a different niche, in the dog market, in the home improvement, there's all these people that would be happy to get your product, because these big brands that cost all this money, Nordstrom's and all, they're going out of business because there's these smaller brands like that we're building with high quality products that people can buy for less expensive,
Yeah, and this is something that I've learned with social media also. It's not about the size of your following. I mean, anybody can go into a follower bot and buy 10,000 followers, right? Mm-hmm. But it really doesn't mean anything if you don't have the engagement. Like, I have 1,000 followers in my brand, but the engagement is really, really high. I mean, people respond to my content. They comment, they ask questions, they repost, and that is what is truly valuable to your sales and to your brand itself, because also brings in compounds for your brand building and for your social proof, that will eventually result in sales.
Exactly. What else do you think? I want to get to some motivation a little bit, but I'm going to ask you first. What are your future plans, man? Because you're always thinking of great things, man. Like I don't even have to tell you much, but you got it down,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, well, pretty much I want to like consolidate this first product. That's pretty much like happening right now. You know, Q4 is already down the corner. We got the Christmas season, which I know it's going to be huge. My product is actually really, gift friendly, gift basket friendly. So I know that I've been asking questions. People have been asking me questions about that. So definitely that's like the first item on the list. I'm already thinking about a couple of second products, two products that I have in my mind. One is a bundle, and the other one is a higher ticket product that also I think it's something that it will really fit into my niche, and people have been asking about it already, because that's something that you guys have to consider as well when you have a brand. People will be, your audience, people will always be like hungry for more. I get questions still like today, every other day, about, okay, what other products do you have? When will you be launching another product? When you be doing this? When you be doing that? So that is always a good sign. So definitely, I'm gonna launch these two products. My goal, like my written goal, is to surpass 10K uh, in one month. I think definitely I'm halfway there with this product, but I think with a couple of more, I'll definitely be surpassing that. And just when I entered this product, the one that I showed you earlier, the one that we've been talking about. This was a medium demand product. This wasn't like a crazy uh, hyper high demand product. This was like the top two sellers were doing 400 units a month. So that's pretty doable. And I think that I decided that I'm going to go with this because this is doable and there's room for improvement and for differentiation. So when you going back to like motivation, I think when you have your first, successful product, and you start like doing like a self-evaluation of the steps you took, you start seeing opportunities very differently than when you do before. So I know that like, take it from me, I had two products which you could say both of them failed, and that was actually what triggered me to do something different. Like, really, okay, I'm gonna go this road instead and see what happens. And now, with the success that I'm having now, I mean, it has proved to me that it's possible, that it works. So if you can do 5K a month with one product, that means that if you follow the steps, you can do 20K with four products. And that's just sticking to basic math. So if anybody's out there like struggling with one product, that it's just trust the process. Trust the process. Keep on grinding, keep on hustling, and just find that alternate way to make things happen.
That's what it takes. And I've watched videos, and I just made one earlier today on my Facebook page. I went live on there talking about how people give up before their third real attempt at something. And you've always seen that, maybe that picture of that GIF where the guy's digging in the tunnel looking for the diamonds, and he's this far away from it, but he turns around. And it's literally, that's what you have to do. Go through these failures. In school, they teach us when you fail a test, you're a failure. And then people grow up really internalizing that about themselves, when in reality, failure is the key to success. Like, you have to fail into success. You fail into it by trying different things, rationalizing differently. And I mean, that's motivation, man, right there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, honestly, like, I don't know, I don't think so that I would have given up. Like, if this product would have been a failure, but I would still be, and because I've been now more immersed in the use of social media and the power that how powerful it is to drive sales. I mean, guys, there's companies that are paying social media agencies thousands and thousands of dollars to do stuff that's literally at your grasp and literally free. You can do it for free. Like I was just telling to Luke earlier that because I've been so immersed in social media, especially using social media for Amazon, that I find myself actually like giving tips and coaching people. It's sometimes you just need that extra push or that extra that extra voice in your head. Like that's why I would always encourage people to get a mentor, go into a mastermind group, talk to other sellers, because sometimes you really need that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you tell us a little bit about more how you maybe found your product? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are always asking about product research. So was there a method you used, or was there a service, or how did you end up coming across it?
Yeah, well, I use the Jungle Scout, right? I mean, that's like the raw data that I use to product research, and I think to be honest, I don't remember how I originally stumbled into it, because my product research at the time was very much niche based. Okay, because I already had two products that I found through Jungle Scout, like using the web app, like like same old classic method. And then I said, okay, like I need to really, and I was really focusing on differentiation. I wanted to find a product that there was room for differentiation. So I actually went down the rabbit hole. I remember starting in Jungle Scout web app, but then like going the frequently bought together. That's how I ended up in the whole beauty niche, and I also wanted I was interested in beauty because for instance, my product can be used by men, women, children. It's so vast, the usage, that I said, okay, so this has a big audience, and this has a potential. So, and I saw that. I think what triggered the something that triggered me was that like 4 sellers were selling the same product with the same packaging under different brands, and 3 of them were making good sales. And I said, like, okay, so if these people are doing this, like, there's definitely room for improvement.
And there's always products, guys, like every single day, every single week, there's new products, new trends, new things coming into Amazon. I mean, they have over 100 million products and like growing, and the amount of people getting exposed to Amazon is growing every day too. So the amount Amazon's growing is not even catching up. Well, that's way past the amount that new sellers are even learning or even starting to sell on Amazon. So the opportunity is definitely all there. Any other words on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, guys. Amazon is growing by the minute and by the millions. So if start like everybody in social media is saying, like, stop talking and start doing, because there's definitely room for you. There's definitely a piece of the pie with your name on it. And I think that the principle stays the same. It doesn't really come down to the product. Is how you market it, and how are you able to position that to your audience. And my principle is, if you create that audience, you already you're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
If you create an engaged audience, then you already have a sales funnel already built for you to drive the product. So it's pretty much simple.
Can you tell us a little bit about your PPC? Because you said you like turned off your PPC and you were still getting sales, and then you turned off your ads through Instagram, and then that then it really slowed down for a minute, maybe before you launched to page 1 or whatever.
Yeah, I was because when I launched the product, I haven't done until today. I still haven't turned on any PPC campaigns. So I haven't done any PPC whatsoever. Every sale that I've made has been, I won't say organic, but it has been driven through my Instagram account. So from day one, what I did was I posted some information about my product being live on Amazon on my Instagram stories, and followed that. All that I did was I started doing sponsored ads on Instagram and Facebook. So still outside, and this is where sales started to pick up. I started doing like 4 units a day, next day 5 units, then one day 11 units, and all the way to 17 units. And up until today, I don't sell less than 7 units a day. So because my original order was, I only ordered 250 units of this product. I was trying out the market, right, and demand. And then when I saw the trend, I said, okay, I'm going to run out of stock. And actually, I think I'm going to run out of stock this week. So what I did was, okay, so last week, the week after Halloween, what I did was, okay, I'm going to stop, because I was literally running ads all through ever since my product launch. I was at least having one sponsored post that will run for 5 days or so. So I remember that the day of Halloween was the last day of one of the last sponsored posts. So I said, okay, I'm going to stop sponsored posts and see how my organic sales are doing without any external traffic. So I stopped for a couple of days, and when I went back to my sales report, I was still doing 4 or 5 units, but my impressions on my pages when I went to my sales report went down by, I would say, 70%. So I was having 1,500 impressions with the sponsored ads, and when I stopped them, I went down to 300. Wow. So you can see that there's definitely a trend, and even if I could show you like my graph in the Seller Central, you see actually a spike downwards those 2 days that I went without sponsored ad, because the impressions went down.
And that was still just from external traffic. So that just shows you that there's really buyers, and you can sell through Instagram out there, and they're out there, and the external traffic's just going to boost you up even more, you know?
Absolutely. And people, I mean, people trust Amazon. So if you have an Instagram and you have a link that drives them through Amazon, then, you know, it's they already have their information there. They are already ready to buy. So I would say that it's very powerful.
Now, we do have another question from Chase. He's asking, with your first 2 products, did you feel you failed because of lack of research? Why did they fail? Too much competition, profit margins? Would love to hear about this.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much a bit of both. I wouldn't say lack of research. I would say like more lack of vision, because in all honesty, on both 2 products, even though they're not crazily competitive, I was basically selling the same thing. There was no differentiation. Mm-hmm. It was better than my second product because I branded, and I did a good work branded. But you really have to be like, you really need to, top up a notch when you're asking yourself if you're differentiating. You really have to be honest with yourself. It's not just about, a different color, and you really have to stand on the shoe of the consumer and say, why would I buy this one over this one? Mm-hmm. And that's when you start thinking about value. And that's why I think, okay, so if I'm, if you're in home improvement, right, and I'm buying a hammer, right, and one listing has a hammer with a nice packaging, and the other listing has a hammer with a how-to manual with an ebook that says everything that you can build with the hammer, and on top of everything it has a nice toolbox, then you're going to go with that one, right? But
even if it costs more money, even if it's like $10 more.
Even if it's more, and that's like marketing principle, right? Like if you're selling a hammer, don't don't put in, don't put an insert card on how to use it. I mean, yes, you can do that, but also, include a diagram of what you can do with the hammer, right? What you can do, you can build, you can tear down, you can do whatever, because that's what the consumers want to hear about, benefits. So I think that's my first two products. I definitely lacked vision, and I think I was a bit like hooked with all the with all the FBA vibe, and I just wanted to get my products into Amazon as fast as I could. And basically, I just relied on the data from Jungle Scout.
Okay, yeah, that solves that one. I mean, we have 7 people watching right now. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them. We're just gonna keep rambling on for a little bit. We're 40 minutes into it, Jesus. So thanks for bearing with me, man. But no worries, man. Anything else on the top of your head that you could give to anyone new that wants to sell? Like, you're talking about vision, you're talking about thinking about value. I mean, you've dropped a ton of value in this video, and I'm asking anyone who has a question. Chase says, thanks for the response, very insightful. Anyone else can come shoot questions, but anything else you want to say, Jesus?
Yeah, well, I just think that anybody who's considering selling on Amazon, or becoming an Amazon seller, or just e-commerce in general, just there's room definitely for everyone in this. You just have to find a way to create an audience and really provide value, and just get a mentor, go to a mastermind, read a couple of books, because I think I was very skeptical when I started Amazon. I think even when I started, I was thinking that it was just not possible. I thought that all these people on YouTube were being paid by Amazon to drive people into doing this. But and it was true. And with my first product, I was literally like very close to saying, okay, so I'm done with it. But then I started like doing more research, and basically just and because of I still have my day job, like I still have 9 to 5, and I work a lot with marketing and e-commerce, and I saw the trends and say more and more people are if you're starting Amazon now, 5 years from now, Amazon is going to be 20 times bigger. So the time is right now. So yes, it's the hustle is hard. You really need to be on top of everything. But I think if you think outside the box and really put that extra effort into offering something genuine, I think that there's definitely room for success.
Definitely. And a lot of people just think that they can still get in. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can sell on Amazon. Retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, private label. There's different sectors, so it's not all people just trying to sell this one product. And there's so many products, so there's just so much opportunity with Amazon. And thinking about how it's now expanding to all these different countries, how like in the next 5 years, Africa is supposed to add another 1 billion people to internet access. Like, it's about to get insane here in the next 20 years when you think even that far.
Yeah, I know that next year they're opening Amazon Colombia, so and they're gonna be sourcing to Brazil and South America, so that adds like another 200 million.
Wow. Thanks, Michael, for dropping another question. He's asking, what's the average review rate that you look for when researching a product? A lot of people say no more than 75. Would you go more than that?
I don't think that things are all that black and white with reviews. I think you really have to see, you have to dig a bit deeper in terms of the niche and on your competitors. Because for instance, my product, there's one seller that has 200 reviews, but everybody else is under 50. So that, and I've been in other products where the average is 300, and you have people with, for instance, in my product, there's people with 10, 11 reviews and are still making sales. So I think you cannot be very like you cannot see things very black and white. It's really hard to find, like if you're following the traditional method and you put in Jungle Scout like less than 75 reviews, you're gonna have a hard time of finding a product. I would say like usually like what I do when I'm doing product research, I usually go for the 100 or 101 reviews, under 101 reviews, and that gives you a little bit of room to go down the rabbit hole. Because guys, like Dan Vass says, Jungle Scout web app is the starting point. Okay, you can use that as a starting point, and then you need to go down to the rabbit hole to whatever it is that your niche is, or whatever it is that you're aiming to do. So what product you're looking for, and then that's where you start comparing a bit deeper your competitors, their reviews, because ultimately, like I said, if you have social proof from outside of Amazon, it's like I have like 900 followers in my Instagram account, and every positive comment that somebody says in that Instagram is a review. When an influencer, does a post on their profile and saying that's a review too. So I wouldn't be so limited on, discarding products just on the review count. So, but yeah, I think like if you want a round number, I think 101 reviews is like okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go too competitive because, it is harder when everyone's got a ton of reviews, in that ballpark that you're saying around 100 is not bad. And, some people like, 3 or 4 on the first page out of 24 sellers, maybe even 5 of them may have over 100 reviews. But if everyone is, even lower than that on the rest of the page, then you're in a good ballpark, especially when the sales are consistent throughout the page. But of course, maybe the guys at the top are getting thousands of sales a month, but everyone else is still in the 400, 500. I mean, you grab a piece of that pie, you find out, you read their negative reviews, and you see what you can differentiate about, make a better product, and you'll be up there making the thousands of sales.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And also price. I mean, price. Like, guys, look for big products. Look for expense. I mean, like, $50, $100 products, $150 products. I mean, go into Alibaba and look at the trends. There's so many new stuff coming out to the market every single day. Think about it. If you're going to launch a new product that's new in Alibaba for 1 month, anybody's not going to have, there's no one going to be having more than 20 reviews if they're lucky. So stay on top of the trends on your niche. There's always a new thing. So that's something you definitely want to tap into. And also a lot of people it's looking to find, Matchbox size products, right, that are cheap to ship from China or from the US or whatever. Like if you're looking for a big product, that differentiates yourself. If you're looking for an expensive product, everybody's trying to sell something between 10 and 15 bucks. Go for 100. Go for. I mean, suppliers are more than willing to negotiate low MOQs, especially for first-time sellers. So, I mean, just you never know. Like, go with 50 units, with 10 units. I mean, it all depends on the competitiveness and the market that you're looking to tap into. So that's a differentiator right there. If you're selling, and think about it, higher ticket items, every time you make a sale, you make $50, $70, $80 profit. So, you make 2 sales a day and you're good.
Exactly. And on that front, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm selling a product that's $120, and sometimes I run a $20 coupon on it, and I can afford to do that and still make $35 profit. When I'm not running the coupon, right now I'm doing a $10 off coupon, making $43, and when I do no coupon, it's $52 a sale, and I ordered 100 units to start out with. So it was $45 a unit, $4,500 investment, but 100 units isn't too much to sell out of. It's not that big of a risk, and with all the profit on top of it, it's just great because each sale means so much more to me now. And now I'm looking for smaller products that sell faster and don't cost that much, but you want to look for barriers to entry and having a big item, thinking outside of the box, not everything that you hear in every video about the perfect criteria. you got to get differentiate with what you're looking for, and then you're gonna find every good products. Like I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's always room. Like I saw a product. Actually, somebody in a Facebook group contacted me and asked me about a product that's about the size of an office chair. So
Hmm.
it's really, really big, right? But it's only big when it's assembled. So when it's disassembled from the supplier, it comes down to like it's a big box, but it's really flat. So it's not really that expensive, and the numbers are just amazing. I mean, it's a bit pricey because it sells about like for 90, $100. But it's an awesome product, and I'm sure that that it has like 10 reviews tops, making like 20K a month.
Yeah, I mean that's what's
So,
out there. People are
so
afraid to get it.
when people say that there's no products, that Matchbox size product, that's the one that's, and I'm sure that if you look hard enough, eventually you'll find it. But there's so much other stuff like, and think about it, guys. If you're doing a high ticket product and you are your own viral launch, then what's to lose, right? Let's say that you break even for a certain number of units because you want to pick up that sales, but once you do that, you're on the green, right? So
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's
mean,
me
shoot.
personally, now that I've put so much like effort into this social media and brand building, I don't think that I'll be using launch services like any time soon. It's just like, to me, it doesn't just make any sense in my mind anymore. It's just like too much of an impact, in my cash flow. So it's, and you can do it more effectively, because I'm not saying, as I said, I don't think that they don't work. They do work, but the way that you do it with external traffic, you will definitely stay longer in the first pages.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used Viral Launcher, a big service. I've always been one to just like look through the other routes. Like that's why I became an entrepreneur, because I wasn't wanting to follow what the crowd was doing. So I looked to social media, I looked to free sources of traffic. I was like, I've already known Facebook groups are out there where they're in my niche and I can just start dropping value, replying on comments. I mean,
Exactly. Like there's Google ads, there's Facebook ads, there's YouTube ads, there's so much stuff, that there's so much outreach that, because that's what viral launch and that it's a mailing list, right? Of people just waiting there to get a product for free that very likely is going to end up hijacking you at some point. But it's, and even though, okay, it fills a purpose, but there's better ways to do it, guys. There's much better ways to do it. It's more effective way, especially if you're bootstrapping.
exactly. So we're gonna probably wrap this one up soon. I think I want to just thank everyone who's tuned in, and Jesus, like, man, I'm so proud of you. Like, you just came to me and were like, dude, I looked at your videos on how to grow the Instagram. I'm doing it. And that's what it takes. A lot of people will watch the videos and just kind of expect things to happen, but you literally had to put in work. Like you've been posting every day, but it's
Yeah.
fun. What do you think about it? You work a 9 to 5, but what is this job like compared to a 9 to 5 for you? Like,
Oh man, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, ever since that seed of the laptop lifestyle got into my head, it's like definitely, and every single, I think that's something that I like the most about Amazon and e-commerce in general, is that every single step of the way, it's very exciting. I mean, I'm hyped every time that I'm looking for a product, or every time that I'm looking at my sales, and for me, it's very captivating, the way the science behind the whole Amazon sale, when you can
mhm.
change a simple word in your listing, or a simple image in your listing, and your sales are going to go up for like 20% in 2 days. For me, that whole thing is just freaking exciting. And to be honest, Instagram has been really fun. I mean, I've known so many people, and it's really nice to hear, when people reach out to you because you're putting out good value and you have a good product. Like I said, I've been there's a lady in New Zealand that wants, you know, that's waiting for the products for the product to be available again, so that she can buy directly from me and I'll ship it to New Zealand. So, you know, she has like 10,000 followers on there. So the possibilities are endless. And I think I think for me, like, Amazon's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm already thinking about, you know, YouTube and affiliate marketing and all that. There's so much stuff to do, guys. So much potential that it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, and like you're thinking, you don't have a YouTube channel right yet, but you know you're thinking about maybe doing it because you're already getting in the groove, and that's exactly what happened to me. I started selling on Amazon. Next thing I knew, I was like, why don't I just make some videos and tell people what my journey's like what was my first Alibaba shipment like, how it went, because I watched these other YouTubers and got inspired. They were getting views and doing all these cool things, and I'm like, I want to do this too. And next thing I knew, I was starting to do it. People started asking questions, and now I'm growing Instagrams. I'm growing other people's Instagrams that come to me, and it's like so many things happen in this short amount of time that it's like I would never want to work anywhere else at this point, like trying to build someone else's future, man, because it's...
Yeah, I've even some in terms of Instagram, I've even some people from Instagram has reached out to me and say, what's your strategy for growing your account? How do you what do you do to gain more followers and this and that? And you end up like, you know, not necessarily coaching, but it's really fun to, you know, to help people, you know, and then you actually see people. I mean, I'm sure you've, you know, experienced that. It's really nice when people replicate, you know, your methods and find success, right? So I think that's one of the coolest part of this job, right? Of this whole movement. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about that, because I think that, you know, I think that e-commerce in general is just such an amazing platform, and so much room, so much potential. And not only to make money, but also, like, you know, to fulfill your purpose, right? I really enjoy, you know, working every single step of development, that product idea, that brand. And I find myself even enjoying, you know, helping people out. So why not, right? I think, and I think that definitely that couple, that social media and FBA hand by hand, I think it's just a powerful formula.
Oh, there's great formulas for everything. That's what I'm saying. Once you get into Amazon, then you can start telling your experience, and next thing you know, you're in YouTube, and then the next thing you're like building some brands on Instagram, and then you become more of an authority figure, and it's like, holy crap, because you start helping so many people that you see all these common problems, and you're just able to help people that much better, more efficiently, and quicker. And yeah, we're gonna go for 2 more minutes. We gotta hit an hour on the clock, man. We gotta hit into 2 more minutes. So
yeah. Well, I just got my midnight sale, so, you know, we can go with one more day.
And I was gonna say, I was gonna
on the West Coast.
Hey, the West Coast. That's where I'm at. He's in Montreal, Canada. I'm in Seattle, Washington. So if you guys are ever in those areas, maybe try and give us a call. Jesus, is there a thing, something I can link down to you, and so people can maybe go check you out? Do you have a personal Instagram, or you just kind of under the radar, or what you doing with that?
Yeah, I do have a personal. I do have a personal Instagram. It's very personal. I don't mind people reaching out. I'll give it to you for you to link below.
Okay, yeah, we can do that after the video. And everyone that's watched this far, yeah, I'm literally like applauding you guys. Thank you. And if you drop a thumbs up, I get really hyped about that. And you guys are more than welcome to ask me if you want to ask through me to get in contact with Jesus, just to say what's up, or you have other questions. Like, this is one of the first student success stories that literally just blew up because of like solid methods of using the Instagram strategy that I have in my course. In the whole last module, I have like 10 videos about how to build your brand, and building the brand is the most important key that Matt Loberstein talks about, all these other people talk about. And how important is brand building for you, man?
I think it's 101% the most important thing. I think even when you, if anybody's looking for a product, once you have that product, then think of your brand. And when you're thinking about your brand, first of all, think about your story. Like, you need to support that brand with something, and it doesn't have to be like people. I think people, I mean, all of us make the mistake of overthinking. Like, we're going to be, competing with Coca-Cola or something. But guys, you have to remember that Coca-Cola was an accident, right? And that's the story behind the brand. And if you bring something genuine to it, good things will happen, because people can definitely relate to real stories. It's really easy. That's why Luke was telling, like, some consumers in general are so sick of this massive, corporate conglomerates, that when they find brands that they can relate to, of course, they rather buy, they rather help the little guy out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that opens up a world of opportunity for new sellers, and especially now with the platforms such as social media, when it's not only a platform nowadays, it's where people hang out. Actually, I see it every day. Like, when you're just walking around in the street, everybody's on their phone either way. So why not take advantage of that?
That's such a big thing, and I just read that in like one of my books, like Crushing It by Gary Vee. He's like, there's all these social media sites are different communities. It's where everyone's attention is. It's not, you can't go do a billboard ad, a newspaper ad, any of these other old school ads that a lot of these big conglomerates are still wasting tons of money on. And what we do now is we're able to go into these communities. Why not utilize, everyone's attention is there anyway. So if they're already interested in this beauty niche or something, or this type of product, just get in front of the right audience, and you're going to be eternally rewarded if you do it correctly, man.
Yeah, and create that audience. Create an audience of your own, and you have their engagement, and that's it. You just have to find that formula. Yep.
Well, I think that's going to be about it. We had Mark Davidson tune in there at the end saying what's up. Michael, Chase, thanks for everyone else that came in. Be sure to drop a thumbs up. And Jesus, thank you one more time, man. Real big pleasure to have you on.
All right. Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, guys. That's going to conclude this video. We passed an hour, longer than I thought, but that's how we do it on the Luke W channel. So please subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next video. All right? Peace out.